Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to try to fix up this Lenovo Chromebook. So this was sent in to me by a viewer and Patreon named Stephen, and he says that it stopped working. If I can get it working, he'd like it back for his daughter. The model of this is an IdeaPad 3, and this seems to be the model number here, CB11IGL05. Now, as far as I can tell, when I look at the charger here, it's USB-C, which is a little bit annoying, because I know that that's going to be slightly harder because I've tried fixing MacBooks in the past with that on. But if you look here, we've got an output of 5 volts, 9 volts, what looks like, I think it's 12 volts, haven't got my glasses on, 15 volts and 20 volts. Yet when I plug it in here, it seems to be charging just at 5 volts. So if you look, it's 5 volts and not much amps really, 0.2 of an amp. Yeah, it's not doing anything here at all. Now, maybe it does charge at 5 volts, but I don't think so, because why have we got all those other ones there? And I know on Apple ones I've looked at before, I think it's 20 volts or something, so that seems very low. And I've held this down for a good 60 seconds or so to reset things, and nothing seems to be happening. What is interesting, and I think this is where I'm going to start my fault finding, is if I plug it into the USB-C port over this side, it's not doing anything. It's not even attempting to draw anything at all. So I'm wondering whether that's faulty there, which is knocking out the whole thing. So let's take it apart and see if we can be successful. Okay, so it looks like we've got various crosshead screws around the back. Hopefully it might be easy to get into. Looked up the price of these, they're not expensive. So if I do need to maybe buy a new board to get, not new, but a used board to get spares off, then hopefully I will be able to do that. Right now, where do you split from? I think it's going to be here. Yep. Ta-da! We're in. Brilliant. Right, we are in. I can see fingerprints absolutely everywhere. Interesting. Well, I would say they're from manufacturer. First things first, let's unplug the battery. One second, which is the good USB port? So this is the good USB port here, which is attached to the board. The bad USB port is attached to this. That might be good because maybe the board can be swapped out in its entirety if it's a faulty USB port. Let's unplug the battery. Actually, let's see if we've got any voltage on the battery. Voltage DC. And I can see red wires on this side, black wires on that side. So let's just go straight onto the end pins. See if anything's coming up. No, but does it only release its voltage when a pin tells it to? Maybe. Let's unplug that. And I'm just going to go straight on here. No, there's nothing in that battery at all. Right, let's plug it in now and see if it's charging on the pins. So it's the same, whether the battery is connected or not, it's the same amp draw. So let's see now what we got here. Ooh, 5 volts there. So we do have 5 volts going into the battery. Hold on a minute. Oh, it's that way round. Yeah, I was going to say it's negative 5 volts. All right, so the battery is getting 5 volts. So why is it not charging? I wonder, let's plug that back in. Let's see now if it's gonna, if we have voltage there now. Yes, we do. We've got 5 volts there now. Did I not measure correctly before? Let's see if it's going to turn on now, just in case the battery needs to be reset. Let me plug it in this way round. Right, so it's still not doing anything different there, and it's still not coming on here. I'm not sure if there's a little light somewhere that tells me if it's charging. But still nothing there. Right, okay. 1 second now. Is there a BIOS battery? Let's get that disconnected again. Also, where did that just come from? A bit of plastic there, so that's a plastic clip. I thought I was quite gentle when I took it apart. Let's take that out again. That's going to be the screen. Motherboard, I/O. So let's disconnect this. I want to see just what happens now when we plug this in with that disconnected. Anything? No. Right, let's see now. Plug that back in. Oh, red light. We got a red light now. Can you see that? I don't remember seeing that before. And it's charging at a much higher amp. It's 5 volts, but look, 0.7. I know it's dropped. Oh, 15! There you go, 15 volts. Result. Something on that board must be faulty. Look at that there. Should we see now if it's going to come on? So let's turn this round this way. Wow, 2.7 amps, that's huge. Yes, fantastic. Yes, okay. Well, maybe it will work fine without that board. I mean, we've got a USB port and a USB-A and USB-C. Oh, fantastic. Sorry, let me, I'll have to delete that out. Right, let me turn that off. Sorry, nothing rude, it's just somebody's name and I don't want to give away personal information. Fantastic, right, okay, now, do you know, I haven't done a fix-it in a bit because I've been working on the Nintendo Switch 2. Kind of pointless. They would have been My Mate Vince videos. I did do a couple of My Mate Vince, but I've been working on another channel. I tell you what, it's amazing how much YouTube has changed over the years, because before when I did videos on the Switch 1, you were guaranteed to get paid for those videos. Now you're pretty much guaranteed not to get paid. So I've spent a lot of money on the Switch 2, and I'm going to have to sell a lot of the stuff to try to make the money back. It's amazing how competitive YouTube is across the board. I thought it was just trying to fix. What's that? Let me zoom in on that. That's got bits sticking out of it. I thought it was just trying to fix that's competitive, but I've realised how uncompetitive trying to fix is compared to all the other sides. Like the Switch 2 now, if somebody said to me, I'm going to get into YouTube to do gaming videos on stuff, I'd be like, forget it. It's absolutely pointless. Right, that looks like a button of some description, does it not? So we're going to have to, I'll leave that to one side. I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, let's have a little look at this board. Let's see what we have. So USB port is here. Does it look mangled? So I think that USB port looks just fine. I can't see, it doesn't look mangled up. Pins look alright, I think. What about this one? So that's USB 3. So we have the extra pins. And that looks okay. So now, let's see if we can see anything burnt. Looks a bit darker than the other two, but that might be completely normal. I can't see anything that side. And I think that side looks okay. So let's get the multimeter out and we'll check for shorts. Maybe, actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we get the FLIR cam? Why don't we plug this in here and we'll get the FLIR cam and we'll see if anything's heating up. No, that's just reflections. Let's try this side. Thing is though, if it's not drawing anything, then it's not going to be heating anything up, is it? Because there's no power there. Let me plug this directly into here, just in case for some reason this is cutting it out. No, there's nothing there. So I'm going to go on to continuity. Let's zoom right the way in and see if those caps are shorted. Nope. Ooh, that's shorted. That's shorted. Right, okay, but is it a full short or not? What ohms have we got? Hold on. Hmm, 5 ohms, maybe not. Anyway, it's something to bear in mind. That's shorted. 5 ohms again, might not be a short. Right, let's see which side is ground. So that's under 1 ohm, and that's under 1 ohm, and this is 5 ohms. Okay, so this is the ground side here. Let's see what about up here. Right, it was this one, I think. That's 5 ohms, and this is ground. And from there, that goes into that pin. Okay. It's impossible to know. 5 ohms isn't a full short, and it's not showing up on the. It's not showing up on the FLIR cam, so I don't think that's the problem. But if the cap was shorted, it's going to be no. If the cap was shorted, it'd be 1 ohm, less than 1 ohm on both sides. I think that's probably normal. Something on here is stopping the board from working. So there must be a short of some description. These look like little filters. Because remember, the USB won't just do power, it will do display as well. That doesn't seem right. So if we take the grounds here, you can see on this one, that's ground, but they're not. On this one, it looks like this is all come up. This is all coming up as 1 ohm. So that's also shorted. Could be here. CX16XJ, CX16, so they're the same, but they're behaving differently. So can you see here, if I was to go between here and here, or here, they're not shorting, but here they are. I think I'm going to take a picture of that so I know which way to put it back. I think I might take that one off and see if it gets rid of the shorts. So I'm just going to put a little bit of flux around here. I've got to be careful because we have a big plastic connector here, so I'm going to try to angle the heat this way. 450 degrees Celsius, 150 out of a possible 200 airflow. Hopefully it won't take long to come off because the board's so thin. There we go. And if you have a look, that does look like power, doesn't it? Because look at this pin here, it goes round and it goes into the other side of the USB port. And it's a nice big thick, trace. So I'm wondering if that's going to be power. Right, let's see what we got. So ground. Oh no. Let me show you my multimeter. They're not all the same reading, but if I just go to resistance, you'll see if I use that as my ground and then go to the one on the right hand side which looks like power, can you see it's just over 1 ohm. Leads together are 0.6 of an ohm. This middle one, 0.6, and the middle one is ground. 1.3, is that the same as that? No. Yeah, not sure. We've got shorts going everywhere. Right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up what the chips are, because that might give me an idea. Because, for example, one of them might be for USB-A, and we know that we know the USB-C is not working. Actually, I wonder, should we, if I was to plug in one or the other, it might give me an idea. Right, I hope I don't blow anything up. What I'm going to do is I want to pinpoint the fault, so I'm going to put it back together and I'm just going to connect up one of the leads and see if it still works. Well, all we have to do is see if it's charging. So I am going to plug in the big one here, like so, and put that here so it doesn't short. Right, so this one's disconnected. Let's see now if it's going to start charging. 5 volts at a small amount of amps. Okay, so that looks like it's the faulty one. So now I'm going to unplug that, disconnect this one, and let's plug in the small one. Now let's see if it's working. Red light's on. So now let's see if this is working here. No, does it have to be on for that to work, I wonder? Well, it's coming alive, but yet this isn't working here. So I wonder now, maybe it's a USB-A fault. Let's unplug that. I'm going to kill power. Let's plug this into here, see if it starts charging. No. So this is not putting the fault on, but yet this isn't working and this isn't working either. Right, okay. That wasn't conclusive then. But we know that this one here is the faulty one. Right, let me look up the chips. So I've been looking up the chips, and this massive one here is this Parade chip. This little one here is this chip here, and the BGA one is this one here. The Parade one, the big one here, says there's a USB-C 5 gigabits per second host switch with port controller. This one here says, this is a long number that's associated with it, but it does say USB 2. So I'm thinking that maybe that little chip is to control this one here, even though neither of them are actually working. And the BGA one, I believe, is this one here, 3483. So it's this number here. It's a USB power delivery and Type-C high voltage sync source combo switch with protection. So I think it's going to be, well, I suppose it could be any of them. But the very fact that the shorts seem to be coming from here and here, not so much around this chip here. So we know that the BGA chip has a short going in from this way, and we know this chip has a short going in from this way. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put 1 volt with a lot of amps into that pin on the chip that I took off. And let's see then if this or this is getting hot, because that might indicate, because maybe when I put voltage in here, it's not is not coming up because it's not even allowing voltage through because it recognises that there's a fault or something. So let's physically put voltage in and see what happens. I mean, out of the two of them, I'd much rather take off this chip than the BGA because the BGA is never going to go back on again, while with this chip it would. Thing is, I can buy this whole thing here. There's loads of sellers selling these on eBay, ranging from £11 I think is the cheapest, up to £15. It looks like you can buy that chip from AliExpress, but there's going to be a long delivery on that. So I think I'd be tempted just to get a complete new board and job's done, but it would be nice to prove it a little bit further. Right, that's solid wire, so it's going to be very fragile. I'll probably rip the pad off actually. It's not touching that. I'm going to be gentle. Let's see if anything's, let's see if it's drawing anything, and then I'll get the flare cam on it. I'm only going to put 1 volt in, so it shouldn't actually burn anything up. 1 volt at 1 amp. So let's see what's going to happen. So you can see now, 0.98 off a volt. We're going to put that onto here. Let's get the flare cam ready before we attach that. Good thing about this is even if I blow this up here, it doesn't really matter, does it? I can get another one for £10. It's not attached to the rest of the board, so I've been very lucky. Right, okay, here goes. Right, let's put it on here. Are you drawing anything? Yes, you are. 0.5 amp at 1 volt. And there we have it. It's that main chip, isn't it? In fact, I can hear it. No, sorry. It's here. What's there? Or is that the other side of the board, I wonder? Doesn't really seem to be anything there. Well, that's definitely hot there. Right, let's take the power off. Gently turn it round. It's going to be the big chip, isn't it? Yeah, I think the heat was coming through the board. Make sure that doesn't short against the ground. Right, here goes. Well, there we go, it's that chip. So now we know it's not the BGA one. Look at that. You can see there. You can see the heat being generated on that. Yeah, well, there we go. So we now know it's that chip. So let's pop it off and see if that 5 ohm short disappears. So I'm going to put the chip back on that I took off earlier. And then we'll take that big parade chip off. Now I'm sure this chip is faulty, but if it's not, if I do need to put it back on, I've got a dot on the board here and the chip's marked up there, so I don't need to take a picture. So it looks like there's a massive ground in the middle there. Now what would be lovely is if the short was still there, but I know it's not going to be because when we physically put voltage in, the chip was heating up, so that has to be where the short is. But let's have a look. This is going to be our ground here, and it was this pin here, I think. There we go. It's not shorted now. Yeah, so that's the short side. That was shorted before. It's not now, and if we go over here, these were shorted here. So, hold on 1 second. That is the short side. And now, nothing there. So the BGA chip is okay. So it is this chip here. And that's interesting because when I typed in the number of this chip, this video came up here. Bear with me. This one here, the secret power issue of HP Chromebook revealed. Yep. and it's by Future Phones, and it says that PS8751B, which is my chip here, PS8751B, and basically in the video he explains how it's a common chip to fail. It's a failure of Chromebooks. And if you did want to buy them, it looks like one piece is £1.59 from China with £2.11 postage. So £3.70 for a chip. But if you look here, there's loads of people selling that little board on eBay. £15 here. This is the one I've liked here, £11.95. £13.75. There's even a cheaper one somewhere. There you go, £9 plus £1 postage. So I'm going to be buying this one here. You can see there, CB11IGL05, which is this one here. So if this was for myself, and if I bought this one off eBay, I would be getting the one from China, and then I'd be installing this. And as long as it doesn't need programming, then, and I don't think it does, then I think it would just work and it would be a cheaper fix. But because I'm giving this back to Stephen, and if it's going to be in use, then I would rather, just in case there's a bit of a dodgy pin in here or something, I would rather just replace the board, and then I'm happy for it to go back into use. But if it was just for me, for the purpose of the video, I'd be swapping that chip over, and then we could see if it works, which would be a nicer video. I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this back in. I'm curious if this is going to work, because if that chip is just for the USB-C, then I'm wondering if this USB 3 is going to work. While I'm popping this board back in, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. The members this month are Keymon Services, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokatansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJ VG, Pixie, Anthony Dean, Russ Melanson, Shigate, Rickard Bergland, Soul Reaver 555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past on YouTube, Lee Benz, Niall Stone, Operational 117, and AJ Computer Services UK. Massive thanks to each and every one of you. So although that didn't work when we had this one disconnected, maybe because the short should be gone now, maybe this is providing some power to liven this part up. You know, maybe this is for the data for this, but maybe it's getting its actual power from this connector. Possibly, you know, from here, and this might be just for data. Right, okay, let's plug this back in. I hope it doesn't explode now. Let's see, first of all, are you going to be charging? Well, actually, first of all, let's just make sure nothing is going to happen when we plug in the charger here. Is it still going to be dead? Yes, that's good. Let's see if it's going to jump up. So we have a red light, so that is good. So 1.5 amps there. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. So the USB-A is now working. No way. Brilliant. Okay, let's just see if we are able to get a charge from that. Right, it's got somebody's name up on screen, and you can see it's charging there, and it says charging here. Okay. Right, it's later on in the evening now, and if you have a look here, I fully charged it up. So you can see there, hopefully, that we have, I think that's 17 hours left, which is insane, but clearly I'm not connected to the internet or anything like that at the moment. And yeah, it seems to turn on really quickly and stuff. I think it's probably a good machine for browsing. I have bought that little sideboard. I bought the one from eBay for £10 there, so hopefully that will arrive in a few days. What I would like to know is if anybody can help me out. What do they think that little bit of plastic's from? Because it's definitely got two bits sticking out, so it looks like it's for a button of some description, but I don't know where it came out from. So if you know about that, please put it down in the comment section below. The keyboard and everything here is working, so if I click here, you can see here that it's all coming up, and if I go down to here, it all seems nice and responsive. So camera, you will see that it will come up with a camera here. There we go. And let's get off that. And I just want to show you the USB port working. So if I plug in my little keyboard, the little wireless one here, like so, you will see now that this is working here. And if I type in here, there you go. Never a truer sentence written. So a massive thank you to Stephen. I'm going to pop that bit in when it arrives. I don't need to film that. It's just a case of undoing 3 screws, 2 ribbon cables, job done, and obviously the screws out the back there. As far as I can see, it's all working fine. So if his daughter can get another few months or even years out of this thing, then that will be fantastic. So why that particular chip failed? Who knows, but maybe it is a common failure if there's been YouTube videos done about it already. So yeah, I got very lucky this time because it was easy because it was on a separate board. Maybe if that was on the main board, I might have been looking all down different power rails and stuff like that. But because I disconnected it and it started working, instantly I knew it was on that tiny board there. So yeah, there wasn't much on there to fault find. So I think I got incredibly lucky on this one. I enjoyed it, and quite a quick, easy fix as well. So I'd like to thank everybody that's watched this. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all very soon. Massive thank you to Stephen again for sending this over. Thanks very much.